Yo, what's going on, chat? We are doing some unboxing and head swapping today, doing something a little bit different. What's going on, Bri? What are you saying? I've been working on some reels lately. You may have seen, I did a couple things with Miles Morales and Steph Curry action figures. I also did a Wolverine reboxing. I put that in the figure shield that's off to the left over here, and I've been working on some new stuff. So basically, I'm using this opportunity to really just kind of, film what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I'm not really doing any B-roll or anything kind of behind the scenes. This is basically going to be all live and stuff that, that I just kind of do in real time with people in chat. They can ask questions, do whatever, ask whatever they would like to do. And then the main thing is I can just kind of re-edit these into, short reels and stuff like that in the future. I don't know, and I don't think I'm going to get into figure reviews. I think they're way too involved, and I think that's probably too much editing that I want to do. So until then, I think shorts is the way to go. So welcome to my, second unboxing and head swapping episode. So you're kicking it with Kuya Kix. Kix here from Toy Bacon. I'm one half of Toy Bacon. Drew Olive is the other half, who's a absolute killer behind the lens when it comes down to action figure photography. Speaking of which, if you're not already following at Titan Toys Store, they are hosting the Titan Toys Toy Photography Showdown Tournament, which ends, I believe, tomorrow. And there's been some absolute killers with the photos that we have over there. I know Mega J Retro, Danny Green Collects, and some of the other folks that are part of the Titan Toys community have been doing reviews and just kind of going through all the aspects of toy photography as they go through the tournament. And it's really exciting to see. Action figure photography is something that I used to do. Andrew is pretty much the one that primarily focuses on the toy photography at this point. But for me, again, I'm focusing more on streaming, not just the action figure stuff, but video games and other types of things as well. So a couple new toys that I got, new camera over here, DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So I have this as the top-down camera. You can see my hand on the top right over here. I actually removed the boom mic from my headset in the past because I wanted a cleaner kind of look. But I found that using my Yeti X mic wasn't always the best, because whenever I would move away from the condenser mic, then you'd lose that audio. So I think for these types of streams, I'm probably going to keep this this mic, and we'll see how this goes. This is at 100% right now, so if I'm hot, let me know, because I can turn it down. I'll probably just tweak that down to 90 just so I'm not yelling at people's faces, but do let me know. Rode mic, I have a Rode directional mic, but again, that's more for videography and DSLRs. But how's the audio mixing right now? I trust you, Bri, as a former DJ. Do I need to raise the adjust the levels on the mic and on the audio right now? This mic is currently at 90%, and the background audio is currently at 40. So if you have any recommendations, what's on the low side, the mic or the background audio? Let me know in the chat, and not just Brian, but whoever else is in the chat. Come say what's up. Let me know who's here and tuning in today. But the purpose of today's chat specifically, background audio is a little on the low side. All right, let's lift up background audio. Let's get that up to 50. Let's get up to 55. So this is 55% audio on the background track and 90 on the mic right now. Lower the mic a little. All right, let's go to 80. So this is 80 on 80 on the mic right now. So we'll see how that goes. But there we go, he says. Perfect. Great. Appreciate the audio mixing tips. Again, obviously I don't really have a monitor to get the feedback and other types of stuff. I guess I could do like a pause and delay, but appreciate the less muffled. Sick. Appreciate the real-time feed here. So if y'all don't know, Infamous Kid got me into drum and bass and other types of electronic music and stuff like that. So trust his judgment here. So thanks so much, Brian. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're in the chat again, come say hey and let me know who's here. But today, again, the whole point of today is talking about unboxing, not just unboxing, because unboxing is pretty easy, but it's head swapping. And the reason why I want to talk about head swapping is there seems to be some pretty good traction on the videos that I put out specifically around sneaker culture in action figures. So what I did is I took the Steph Curry starting lineup figure, and I took the Curry Flow 9 Under Armour shoes off, and I put that onto Miles Morales, and just kind of showing how you can easily customize your action figures by just kind of mixing and matching parts here. So the purpose of this stream is I have 3 different Wolverine action figures. I have the Wolverine Deadpool Legacy Collection figure over here. So this is pretty much just a reissue from one of the original Wolverine movies and action figures that were released. There's this Cowboy Wolverine, kind of more comic style. You can tell by this logo over here. That's the Wolverine logo that you would see on comics. And then you also have this Marvel 85th anniversary Astonishing X-Men suit. And I kind of wanted to pair all of these 3, because there has been quite an evolution in regards to the action figures. This one, I can tell you right now, has you can see the pins in the biceps and the forearms. These 2, I believe, have pinless joints, so you can see how that action figure, architecture or engineering has improved over time. But the other thing is just being able to swap the heads, because this has the Hugh Jackman head, and this is a classic suit, and obviously in the new Deadpool movie, he's wearing one of the classic suits, not this exact suit, but very close. So I wanted to be able to at least pop off this head and try it on the Astonishing X-Men suit. There actually is one that does have the movie suit plus the head that are all together, but we're just gonna play around and have some fun with these figures here. That's the thing now. Sun mixes and matches parts. You maybe buy some part on AliExpress to make it fit. That makes total sense. There's definitely tons of stuff on AliExpress, on Etsy, 3D customizers, and all kinds of people that have action figure accessories out right now. So, kit bashing really started with, if I'm not mistaken, kit bashing started with model kits. When you think about, cars and planes and all that other types of stuff, they would actually take the model kit and bash them together. So that's how the word kit bashing came to be. And when it comes down to action figures, it's typically just kind of swapping parts. There are people that will obviously, remold the action figures, repaint the action figures, 3D print, and do a whole bunch of different things. I'm not that advanced, so this is pretty much a very simple unbox and head swap. So what I want to do is I want to get into each of these figures that you see here on the top right corner, pretty much kind of talk through some of the accessories and what we're working with, and what we'll do is we'll pop the heads right off the pegs, and we'll start to swap them across the different bodies so you have an idea of how they look. Because I think this is kind of cool. You have 2 different versions of that are more like street bodies, right? So you have the white tank, the black tank, both of them in the jeans, but you have different heads. You have the Hugh Jackman head, which is more MCU and Fox series accurate. You have a comic, head. This one is very feral, which is kind of cool. And then you have another comic, style Wolverine over here, classic yellow and blue style suit over here. So let's go ahead and open these up and see how these look. By the way, love the interface graphics. Thank you. I use a software called Streamlabs. So there is a very basic black overlay that I was able to download. And then what I did is I just kind of customized. I photoshopped Toy Bacon logo onto the top left, and then added all the text over here. So unboxing and head swapping. Obviously, oh, hi. Yeah. Yeah, my fiance just made a nice little guest appearance here on the stream, and she's allowed. She's my favorite. So we have a couple different things that I customized. You have the the text on the very top. I also started to list out the stuff that I'm kind of going through on the bottom over here. So you see a list of unboxing pieces, so that if you wanted to purchase it for yourself, or if you just wanted to kind of take a different look at the different things that we have here, you can kind of Google it and see that for yourself. But otherwise, I think we can kind of get into it, because we've been kind of customizing all these other types of things. But yes, a lot of the stuff, Rye, is pretty much preset overlays. But I did a little bit of customization. I obviously added my social media on the bottom, and also my sponsor Rotator graphic on the bottom right. So a couple things before I get into the action figures. Sure, let's do a little bit of a call out for the sponsors of the stream and some of the small businesses that I work with. Sakin, he is an awesome artist local here in Ontario. He does a lot of custom art around Smash Brothers and video games and stuff like that, so definitely check out his work. Toy Bacon, of course, that is the brand that Andrew, Drew Olive, and I started for our action figure photography. So that's kind of where, we kind of sell our art. Go Hair, that's my fiance's studio, so definitely got to show love and support for her. Check her out in Port Credit, Mississauga. Awesome Toy Show. The Awesome Toy Show is one of the local toy shows that is hosted here in Mississauga. Wing is the organizer of that show, and we usually post up at their shows. And Titan Toys, of course. Titan Toys is the official toy provider of my stream, and that I'm a partner with. You can save 5% off your next purchase at titantoys.com with promo code TOYBACON. And of course, Scars and Strops Barbershop. They're the guys that keep me fresh on Port Credit, getting my lineups, my fades, beard trims, and all that other type of stuff. Go check out Boy and show him some love. So Bry's saying, nice and clean, keep it like this. Hate seeing layouts that have too much going on. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that will put like game art, anime, and all other types of stuff, which is absolutely fine. But for me specifically, I think not just on toy streaming and stuff like that, but more on gameplay when I'm playing Smash Brothers and stuff. Like I'd want it kind of clean. The other thing is I also used to use a green screen where I would overlay myself onto the gameplay. But what I found is that when I'm going through the editing process and trying to like find something, like I don't have clean gameplay because the overlays are all over the game in itself in a full screen. So that was kind of problematic for me. So what I decided to do is create these, choose this preset overlay that has like a full screen aspect, so you can see me here, front angle right here with my webcam. You have my second angle pop over here with bird's eye view using Droid Cam. That's my old Pixel 5 that's mounted up over here. And then last but not least, you have the top-down camera, which is right over here, but it's pretty much unobstructed. See fully edge-to-edge footage, so that when I want to do editing and stuff after the fact, pretty much I have a fully clean image that I can chop and crop and do what I want. But I think I'm talking too much and not opening enough toys. So let's go ahead and crack into these. I think I'm going to go in reverse order, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the oldest one. We'll go with Deadpool after that because this is a reissue. And then finally, we will open up this Wolverine Astonishing Suit, which is pretty much they came out at the same time, but I'm going to say this is the newest figure since this is a reissue. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these Wolverine figures to the side, and we'll take a look at Cowboy Wolverine. So picked this up at GameStop not too long ago, but a street body is always good when it comes down to action figures and stuff like that, because I could pop off this head and even put not just Wolverine but anybody and make them look like they are a street body. He has the cowboy hat. He has like the feral kind of like screaming face, which is what I wanted for a more dynamic kind of look. He has some extra hands, blade here, and just this is the old Marvel Legends packaging. This is a 2019 release. So let's go ahead and cut him open, and we'll go from there. But again, if you're just tuning in now, we are doing some unboxing and head swapping, because that seems to be what's poppin', at least on my social feed right now, and felt that I should kind of get into it with these action figures, which have been just kind of sitting in storage. So here we go. Toss that off to the side. Take this tray off. See you later. Take this tray. See you later. And we're left with Wolverine. So again, let's take a closer look. Over here, you have the screaming face, the cowboy body. You have two hands over here and the blade. But let's go ahead and take everything out, shall we? Starting with the action figure. Let me know how everyone's doing this fine Monday. All right. Pretty cool looking figure in full view over here. cowboy sort of look. Black tank. You have some detail across the arm over here for the hair. You have the blades, which I know, some of the complaints with these types of plastic figures and stuff like that are the way that the blades, kind of bend. This one looks even wonkier. Look at this guy. He's seen better days. Definitely not stabbing straight, cutting straight with this over here. You can tell it's an older figure as well because it has these pins on the side over here. We'll get into what a pinless is later on. So for people that don't know, there are new figures that do not have these exposed pegs on the side over here, and they're pinless joints. We'll get into those, but you can see that both there's pins here and there's pins here that kind of take away, from that realism. Otherwise, he has his cowboy hat here, a little bit of paint defect on the very back, and all in all, pretty basic. No butterfly joint on this, but he does have, move his arms up. He has a bicep swivel. He has not quite a 90-degree elbow over here, and then you can bring that wrist in and out. But again, that's really looking really bad, like these blades over here. There are some aftermarket blades, I believe, that are metal that you can put over here, and then they won't get warped. But I don't know if I would pick any of those up. If you've had them, if you've tried them, do let me know, and we'll keep it going. Otherwise, he has his jeans, and pretty basic. And from a height perspective, I have this Fiskars mat over here. So from a quick reference, he is just under 6 inches, just about 6 inches tall exactly. This white to white area over here is 6 inches, so you can see him right there, exactly that size. What's that? Bryce saying, how's the articulation on the figures? These ones, again, because it's an older Marvel Legends, he lacks the butterfly joint. When we get into the new Wolverine figures over there, you do get more range of motion around the shoulders specifically. So like when he does poses like, Berserker Barrage, like style, with his hands kind of like in front of his chest and stuff like that, you can't really pull it off with these older figures, but we should be able to pull it off with those ones over here. Paint job is good, agreed. And it's cool that, again, he does have the arm hair, which is pretty jokes. I mean, obviously, again, this is a more stocky, comic style Wolverine. You can tell by the build, very muscular. He looks kind of short and stumpy, compared to Hugh Jackman, which this is obviously more comic accurate. And I'm not sure about the head tilts, but he has a little bit of range of motion on the neck peg over here. Obviously, the back part of his hair does kind of stop him from going any further back, and he has an ab crunch forward and back. So that's Wolverine. Put him off to the side. Cowboy Wolverine specifically. We got some comments over here. Comic accurate height pushed to 6-inch scale. Agreed. I think that, again, from the proportions, we have Mutant FL Man in chat saying, again, he is pretty comic accurate, and then kind of lifted up because you could tell that he's pretty stocky, which is true to what Wolverine should be. Hugh Jackman, way too tall, but understandable. Hollywood, you gotta go with some actors to kind of bring those characters to life, and I guess he was the best person for the job at the time. Infamous Kid saying, articulation, would you say is about a 3.5 out of 5? Yeah, probably, 3-ish, because it is an older Marvel Legends figure, so you can't expect a lot from it, but still very good. Let's pop out this head, which is probably the primary reason why I picked this up in the past. Just take a look at that, screaming face. Like, this is really, that 90s comic or cartoon style of Wolverine face. And the main reason why I wanted this is, like, there's a lot of action figures that maybe have, this is just kind of a smirking face over here, but the astonishing one, which we'll get into later on, he has just a chill face and then kind of like a clenching face over here, but it's not that crazy, but this face is, really, really cool. So really excited to kind of mix these up here. Mutant Florida Man, you'll love the Astonishing X-Men for sure. Dude, I honestly have been looking for a classic Wolverine figure for a while, and that was pretty much, I think, the closest to what I was looking for. I have a signed copy here. I'm not sure if anyone has been tuning into my streams in the past, but this is the X-Men 97 Wolverine, which I love as well, but I'm keeping this one on ice because I got it signed by Cal Dodd, the voice actor from the X-Men 90s Fox series and X-Men 97. So it says Wolverine, Cal Dodd, and then on the bottom over here it says, I go where I want to go. So yeah, this one, obviously I'm not going to bust this out, so hoping that I can find another one of these, but this one is just a grail piece that I'm going to stay, that will stay in my collection, you know, for forever. I don't plan on selling this at all, but I did a review on not this figure, but specifically the figure shield. This figure shield is pretty much a clamshell. There's a front piece over here. There's a back part. They just kind of clip together. The cool thing about it as well is the way that the bubble packaging works is it actually holds it separated from the front over here. So, you know, I don't have to worry about the ink, you know, ever coming into contact with the front. So very excited to have this. Mutant FL Man saying, before you ever pulled it off the shelf, I thought of X-Men 97. Yeah, for sure. So I have the Love Triangle, I have these, and I have this and the Cyclops and Jean Grey, which I've yet to crack as well. So maybe I'll get into X-Men on a future stream, but we'll focus on Wolverine, of course, for now. But yeah, I'm excited to get this unmasked head, you know, on and test it out on the Astonishing X-Men body. So we're going to go ahead and put this head sculpt off to the corner over here, and then let's get these two hands out. But yeah, appreciate you engaging with the chat, Mutant FL Man. You know, it's great to see some new people here in the feed. Here we go. Here are some open hands, well, not open hands, but I guess item holding hands that he comes with, because he comes with this sword, the samurai sword. I don't know what it is, but it's a red sword of some sort. Take it out here, and we'll ditch the packaging, and you have your red blade. I don't know what kind. I don't know if it's designated as a katana or something, but you know, just red plastic with some brown on the bottom here. There is a little bit of paint transfer and stuff over here, which isn't so bad. And then you can obviously use this with the hand, toss it in there, and then quickly let's do a part swap here with Wolverine. And this, there you go, Wolverine with the blade, and there he is. So again, put this off to the side with our Wolverine figure. And Mutant FL Man saying, oh, I love the triangle 3-pack. Oh, so it's actually not the 3-pack that I have. I have all three of the X-Men 97 individual figures. I know that the original 3-pack goes for an arm and a leg now, with the Jean, Cyclops, and Wolverine figure. But I don't have that one. I have the 97 3-pack, if you want to, or I guess Love Triangle, if you want to call it that. Bry says, best Wolverine figure I've seen is the figure complex. You know, the figure complex stuff are really, really awesome. I think you're referring to maybe the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech figures, which look absolutely amazing. The articulation is great. The main thing, I dropped out of that line because I didn't like the joints, to be honest. Like, I guess, you know, using those ratcheted joints, it's kind of a pain to pose, but once you got it into a pose, they would hold, which is something that, you know, some SH Figure Arts and Mapex or Mafex rather, and other figures, the joints go over time. Revoltech holds up, which is great. Oh, I'm popping this open prematurely. Let's take a look at the packaging. Let's take a little pause, rewind over here. Totally destroying this box, but I'm throwing it out anyway. But yeah, those complex figures are awesome. They come with tons of accessories, tons of articulation. So definitely something to look at. But I would say the Mafex Wolverine figures are probably the best. Like, so if you ever take a look at those, they are really nice. But Bryson, this one's a beauty. It's cool. You can swap for sure. Yeah, swapping parts, you know, is definitely key to bringing your action figures to life. It sucks that some action figures don't come with, you know, that many accessories. So, you know, you're reliant on purchasing more figures and stuff like that. But that's obviously how they get you. You know, they got me by the balls for picking up a couple different action figures and just being able to kind of, you know, wanting to swap. Sometimes I'll even just kind of look at Walmart or the dollar store and I'll look for action figures that have cool accessories just for fun. But otherwise, getting back to the Wolverine Deadpool Legacy Collection, again, this is a reissue, I believe, from either the Logan or the Wolverine movie. I can't remember if it's X-Men Origins, but it's definitely a reissue of one of the previous figures. But this is, again, they're calling it Deadpool Legacy Collection cash grab. You know, they just reissued both him and Deadpool, and then there's another, I believe, Deadpool and a couple Wolverine figures that are coming out in the next little bit. On the side, you have Deadpool. On the side, you just have the Deadpool logo, nothing here. And then you have, you know, cutesy Deadpool right on the back over here. But I already opened up the top, so we'll get into it. This one I picked up at Titan Toys. So again, that is one of the sponsors of the stream. If you're interested in getting your collectibles, check out titantoys.com and use promo code TOYBACON. That's TOYBACON all as one word, and you'll get 5% off your next purchase. So help support local business and your boy, of course, on stream. So here it is. This is the tray with the Logan figure in all its glory. Let's take a closer look. You have the Logan action figure in the center there with the screaming face. You have the neutral face right over here. You have two closed fists, so not hand-holding fists, but closed fists. And then you have these claw hands, which are already on, and already this dramatically better than the past figure. But let's get everything out here so we can do a one-to-one comparison of the two. All right, so first and foremost, here he is, the Hugh Jackman Logan action figure with the screaming face over here, which that head sculpt looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty awesome. He comes with these dog tags, plastic, you know, soft plastic dog tags around here. I'm pretty sure there's people that do custom with actual, you know, metal or thread or something like that to make it fall a little bit more realistically. Not a lot of range of motion with the head, but you know, decent head tilt. Brett was asking, do you prefer glossy or matte box print for my collection? Actually, man, like I throw out the majority of my boxes, so like I usually just keep action figures, you know, that are articulate, you know, for action figure photography and just kind of like the collection. There's just no room for the boxes, to be honest. Import action figures, like from Japan and stuff like that, I'll probably keep, just because the art, you know, is worth it in itself. But you know, domestic figures like these boxes, I just toss them in the trash. So I don't really have a preference on the packaging. We were talking about articulation in the past with this figure. This one, again, this is where you can actually see the butterfly joints that they worked into the back and the front. So if you don't know what a butterfly joint is, it's what allows them to kind of have a range of motion in the shoulder area, so kind of towards the chest. You can see that cut, and then look how deep the back cut is on the new Logan action figure. So, you know, I'll show you right now, you know, being able to just do that to kind of push it forward, or pull it back like that. So being able to kind of, you know, bring both arms back like this, and I'll just kind of put it in a makeshift Wolverine pose. This, and we'll get them bent forward. Like that's where you can now kind of see the the difference in terms of like what that butterfly joint, you know, does between the two. Now, if we try and replicate that with the old Wolverine figure, again, no butterfly joint over here. So the closest we can get, you know, to that would be something like this, where you're kind of faking it with the bicep swivel to get that wide stance, but not quite that same range of motion. So you can see the difference on these two guys right over here. Right, and how far back like those arms go. But that's what 5 years of, you know, engineering will do. Well, I guess this one isn't necessarily 5 years old again. I can't remember when they first issued this this tank top Wolverine over here, but you know, certainly a difference in the style of Wolverine. You know, when you compare these two, even in height, you know, looking at them now. Again, this guy's a 6-inch figure. Let's get this guy up and measured. This Hugh Jackman version is 6.5, almost 6 3/4 tall. So you can see that height difference on these two figures as well, from a comic versus MCU version. So that's something for you to take note of as well. But let's get this guy off to the side and focus again on this newer figure. Again, that butterfly joint, you know, aside from the sculpt, you know, that butterfly joint is probably the biggest point of articulation that, you know, separates the two. You know, even being able to just kind of do this, you know, the X kind of pose like in front of him, something that he can do easier than the original Wolverine. Ab crunch, you know, is pretty much the same. It's just a general cut over here. It's not like Spider-Man, where Spider-Man has like more of a ball kind of torso where you kind of like move him around. This does have the hip swivel, but it's just a standard ab crunch forward and back. And then the legs, you know, just these standard legs with a little bit of a hip swivel over here. See how far back. Nice double jointed knee, but unfortunately you can still see the pegs, so it sucks. You know, you have pinless, you know, arms, but not pinless legs. So that's again one of the difference where, you know, this dude is pinned on both sides. So this one here, you know, a little bit of an upgrade. You have the pinless arms and not the pinless legs. And then from a boot perspective, you have, you know, your toe swivel, ankle rocker, a little bit of motion to go forward and back, but it gets obstructed by the top of the shoe and the back of the pant. So I think that's pretty good as an overview for this dude. Because again, we're not really reviewing the figs, we're just unboxing them and head swapping them for fun today. Let's take a look at the other head sculpt that he comes with, and this is the other Hugh Jackman head that comes in, and also, you know, pretty accurate. You know, as a young Hugh Jackman from the earlier days of Wolverine, that looks pretty good to me. Put this aside, and then the last things that he comes with are, yeah, the legs on this guy do still have the pins, so that's where, you know, it's kind of half-assed on Hasbro's part, but, you know, some people complain, some people don't. And you have these closed fist hands. So the other Wolverine had these sword-holding hands, and now we have these closed fist hands, and you can see that both of these peg pieces are pretty much identical. So I know that the skin tone isn't the same, but, you know, if you wanted to, you could part swap and fake it. You know, probably won't look that obvious, but I guess we could also try that in real time once we get all three figures unboxed. But again, that's all he comes with, these two hands and these dog tags, which are removable. And we will get into the last of the three to complete the trifecta. So the last one that we're going to be looking at is the Marvel Legends Astonishing X-Men Wolverine suit over here. So this is an 80th anniversary. This is an 85th anniversary figure. The reason why I picked this up is, again, I wanted a blue suit Wolverine, a little bit different than the other figure that I got back there, which is the X-Men 97. This, again, this is more comic style. X-Men 97 obviously is more animation style, but pretty basic packaging over here. 85 years, celebrating 85 years listed on the top. On the side, you have some Wolverine artwork over here, and then on the very back, you have the Wolverine just kind of dashing forward right out of a comic panel. So we'll go ahead and put this up. Not the uncanny suit though, dude. This is the astonishing suit. Very similar, but if you take a look at it closely, it's not the same, around the shoulders over here, and see how the blue starts in the middle and then cuts its way out, versus like the lines on the side, which I believe that's the uncanny suit, more of the 90s Jim Lee style. Is more of that tiger stripe along the side, and a little bit more black. So this is a little bit more of the blue and yellow. So you have the unmasked head, neutral head over here. You have that grimacing, kind of clenching head over here. But let's go ahead and take him out and see how he looks. Yeah, no rib cage stripes. That's exactly it. So pretty good. Again, more comic accurate, and more, stubby and short. From a height perspective, I believe he should also be 6 inches or so. Yeah, so right, when you compare these two, they're pretty close in stature when you consider, comic accurate kind of Wolverine, where he's, stubby, shorter, stockier. So these look pretty good together. These back off to the side again. Head, just on a ball joint, nothing crazy going on over here. He also has these cutouts over here for the butterfly in the front and on the back. So nice. Let's see what that looks like. His arms up. 90-degree bend. Same with this one here. It's not bad. But really, obviously, that back deep cut is really where you want that butterfly for that, wingspan type of pose. Let's try and get that going on. Nice flexibility around the back. This is a nice soft plastic that moves around, which is nice. Still has that hair, slightly different kind of detail. This is more, a little bit more realistic. This one is just kind of, horizontal lines, on the side of the old figure. So this one's more like speckled, kind of like scattered, like a little bit more natural on that hair sort of look. Also, pinless on the arm over here, bicep swivel, pretty good elbow joint over here, standard wrist peg. But even the claws, when you compare these new figures, they are better. They're not the best. You can still see some weird kind of spacing, when it comes down to these claws over here, but not as atrocious as like these ones here, which are kind of like, pointing inwards at each other. These ones go like way too wide. So, they're definitely not perfect, but as I mentioned, there are some aftermarket claws that people can purchase if they are interested. This is what I mentioned. This is a little bit more of the Spider-Man style torso, where it's on, a ball peg that allows you to, move around, twist, instead of using the waist. So there is no waist swivel. It's moved up into the upper torso over here, but you do get a little bit of ab crunch, and this belt, moves out of the way to bend down, pretty far. Let's see how far back we go here. Not too much, but I guess that's enough. And then the legs, pretty much the same, standard sort of hip and thigh swivel over here. Nice, clean, pinless leg. Bend that up, and nice knee bend there. No boot swivel, but there is ankle rocker and ankle tilt, of course. So this one, by far, because of just the design of this boot and not having the pants of these two, best range of motion, probably the best articulation out of all of these, to be honest. And so here they are, side by side. Obviously, the Hugh Jackman MCU version is the tallest, and the short, stubby comic dudes are off to the side over here. But let's take a look at a couple more of the accessories over here. What are you saying, Brian? His arm span spread with the arms pulled back makes a huge difference for the poses. Absolutely. I mean, Wolverine is supposed to be, a pretty, like, as much as he's, very muscular, a lot of his poses, being able to kind of do the X, or like pulling his hands back and like just kind of like getting ready to like, rip his claws like through you and stuff like that is such a an iconic, I guess, like pose and stance that he would need to kind of take, berserker like swings and stuff like that. So 100%, like that definitely makes it a lot more, I guess, accurate to what your imagination can kind of bring together. But we're going to go ahead and pull this other head out. So here is the masked head. So it's pretty good with the clenched teeth, pretty good detail. But shorter on the cowl or whatever these horn kind of like things kind of look like, much smaller than, I think, again, that Jim Lee astonishing look, the X-Men 97 Fox kind of look, has much longer, black areas of the mask over here. Put that off to the side. And then you get 4 additional hands. So we'll start with the fist. Come on. Tape. Closed fists, and may as well, let me just take these out while I'm at it. Make it easy, and then we can go straight to the part swapping as soon as we are done. See you later. Those will go into the recycling later on. But here are the closed fists that come with the astonishing X-Men Wolverine. You can see these little metal guards here. Now, one thing that I learned, I'm not sure if y'all know, is that they're designed to guide the blade out of his fist, out of his hand, for his control, because there are times where Wolverine can actually make the blade come out of like his hand, like they always just kind of rip through his flesh, which is kind of gross and painful. So these gloves, like this design, these were actually designed for him to be able to control, the blade and where it kind of, pops out. So that's a fun thing I learned recently, actually. You have this finger pointing hand, pointing at your enemies, and then you have finally this one open hand over here. It's kind of cool too. Alright, so it's the moment of truth where we go through and shift over to part swapping, which is the whole purpose of this, is do all of the heads work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop off all of these heads, and then we're going to go through and rotate them throughout all of these different Wolverine bodies, and we'll go from there. Retracted blade guides, that's exactly what they are. Again, there was one weird panel where, again, I think Wolverine's hand was like this, like kind of like Spider-Man style, and because he was like that when he let the blade out, it literally popped out like of his palm, which looked really painful and gross. But that's one thing that they say is like, Wolverine just, goes through the pain and heals, you know, itself after that. So that was pretty easy. I did that pretty quick. Sorry while I was talking, but it's just a ball peg with a little bit of, you know, downward tilt articulation, and then a socket over here. So hoping that all these are the same, but we will soon see. Here. All right, let's get this Hugh Jackman head. Again, the same thing. All right, first noticeable difference. We'll take this these dog tags off while we're at it. Is that it is the same size ball peg, right? But the difference is that this has like this cut, kind of, you know, just kind of go down through the neck over here. The main difference is that this is like a double ball socket, so you can see that, you know, there's like a barbell like style where there's a ball here, some type of axle or like rod, and then like another kind of ball on the bottom over here. So that's how it gets a little bit more circular motion articulation than that one here. Bry's asking, are those head sockets all the same size? We're learning together, dude. I don't know. I didn't know whether or not they would, but these ones seemingly are the same size socket. But again, like this is like a barbell, you know, double ball joint. This one here is not. But we'll see what this guy has as well. So we'll pop off this guy's head. And sure enough, it looks to be the same. I think that these are actually the same kind of technology for these two Wolverine heads. So again, you have the double ball peg. This one's just a little bit deeper, a longer, you know, kind of barbell in the center over there. But that's because just the way that these necks are sort of designed. And seemingly, again, all the sockets are, you know, the same. So now we can go ahead and play around with, you know, the different heads. So we have two each. We are the two Astonishing heads. We have the two Hugh Jackman heads. And then we have the two Cowboy Wolverine heads. Look sticker, Hugh Jackman. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So first and foremost, Cowboy Wolverine, the original head. You know, I just pulled this one off, but let's start. May as well start fresh. There he is, Cowboy Wolverine, cowboy hat. Cool. Put this off to the side, and you have your feral head, screaming face Wolverine. Let's get that on here. All right, so there's that. Let's get Hugh Jackman neutral head. First and foremost, skin tone is already off, lighter, a little bit darker, but it looks kind of funny because, again, his stocky kind of body with this type of head looks kind of funny. If you watch the Deadpool movie, there is a comic accurate Wolverine, so that just kind of reminded me of what that bar scene in the movie. Spoiler alert. And then let's go this screaming face here. This looks pretty silly. So yeah, not so much, you know, the Hugh Jackman heads on the Cowboy Wolverine body. But let's go ahead and try the Astonishing head on the Cowboy Wolverine body. Looks kind of funny. Looks a little small, I think, on this body. Maybe because like the lats and like, you know, his neck area and the lats like are like too big, and maybe like especially the way that the mask is on him just kind of makes his skull look pretty small too. What's going on, Rob? What are you saying? So not so much this one here. Streets. Yeah, Street style Wolverine, yo. It's good. And then let's get this Astonishing head on Wolverine body. And again, skin tone is a little off, but not so bad. I think, again, the whole thing of this thing, because his body is so like wide and muscular, like these heads just aren't doing it. I think that these two heads, one, the hair definitely builds up more of the space, like there's more width, right? Like in terms of like how his hair spans wide, or how the hat spans wide, it works with the wider stature body. So I think that, you know, these are probably the only heads that I would put onto that figure, to be honest. But let's keep it going. Love your content. You know, thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining the chat. And if you're not already subscribing, please hit me up with a like and a sub. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, which would be awesome. So if people are watching and they're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. The likes and the comments do help with just getting the word out there. But if you know anybody who is just into action figures, if they are into anime, if they're into video games, I stream Smash Brothers and retro games and stuff like that too. You can see my fun collection of controllers, my Triforce, my Extra Life fundraising, like type of stuff that I have over here, and then of course, you know, all the other fun stuff that I have in the studio, and that's not including what's in the glass case over there. So again, hook me up with likes and comments. Really would appreciate that. Exactly, smash that like and subscribe button. Exactly that. So let's get into getting some of the head sculpts on the Hugh Jackman body. So this is the Hugh Jackman body from Logan. Let's put his standard head on. Yep, you know, just as expected. And back to the screaming face that he came packed with. Right, that fits. That works. Let's go with the Cowboy Wolverine hat. Let's see how this looks. That doesn't actually look bad, you know. Like I said, because he has so much hair in that hat, I think it actually, you know, doesn't look too bad on this body, to be honest. Oh yeah. And then let's get this feral head, right? Like this is, again, my favorite head. I pretty much bought this figure specifically for this crazy Wolverine head. Let's get it on here. All right. So little weird. I don't know why. Maybe because, again, I'm used to seeing this face on like that smaller like type of body. So looks a little weird on the tall body. I didn't mind the cowboy one, but I don't know why this one without the cowboy hat looks a little off. Righteous? Yes, dude. Totally. So let's take this one off. And let's get the masked astonishing head on this body. Try this out. Yeah, let me know as you're seeing these head swaps. Let me know what looks good and what doesn't. I'm going to say that this does not look good. It looks like a dwarf head on a big body. I think the other thing too, as I mentioned, is that because he has the full like mask on, like it really kind of shows the size of the skull, which is too small, like personally for this body, I think. So it looks kind of weird, you know, where the body is like tall and it's just like a small kind of head, right? And finally, let's get this other astonishing Logan head on here. And this one's not too bad, but I think, you know, it's not the best. The ratio of the head size makes his neck look long. Yeah, exactly, right? So there's differences that you can see on all the figures. You know, you can see even with these two, right? The Hugh Jackman neck is much larger. This one is, you know, more, again, he has a lot more of an angular kind of look around the shoulders because his traps, you know, are so big, right? Around this kind of area over here. So we're now on to the last figure, which is the astonishing body over here. So we'll go ahead and put them all on again. This works. Again, smaller head, but overall smaller figure, so this works. Obviously, because the yellow is color matched, as well. Like that just kind of completes the look. So, obviously these came packed together, so they're going to work together. Let's go with the unmasked head one more time. Works pretty well. Again, he's a stubbier kind of Wolverine, and this kind of works even though he doesn't have as much hair as the cowboy Wolverine. This is a decent unmasked look for this body here. Let's keep going, and we'll go with the neutral Hugh Jackman head over here. Looks kind of funny, right? This is what he would look like if they CGI'd him to be comic accurate, which looks just goofy. And let's get this screaming head on. I don't know, it just looks funny in regards to having Hugh Jackman's head on like a small body, knowing that dude is like what, 6'4", like something like that. It's just not right. But I have faith in maybe this crossover. So let's go ahead and get his cowboy hat on this body here. See, this works. I mean, not so much the style, because like he's in his fighting team suit and in a chill kind of cowboy hat, but it's like he's ready to go on vacation. He's like, I'm ready to just not be in the suit and drink some beer, smoke some cigars. And saving the best for last, it's this screaming, again, feral head. Let's put it on the astonishing. And that still works as well to me. Just that hair, that wider kind of look in this suit. Obviously, again, it's not the astonishing, the uncanny 90 Jim Lee look, but it's pretty damn close. At least, like, again, their body type, when you compare the three, we already did this, but the body types are much more similar with these two. Just about 6 inches stockier, wider bodies, whereas this Hugh Jackman body is just tall, slender, just like the actor. So not comic accurate at all, but just a pretty legit figure all in all. But there you go. I think that both of these two are probably the best. So I think that these are probably the interchangeable ways to go. Put this guy back on again. These two are passable for the head swaps, but not so much with the Hugh Jackman body. And I think, again, Brian made a good call. It's the neck. It's also, he has a longer face, right? Versus like more of a square jaw, and wide kind of hair, compared to this like brushed back kind of hair kind of look, right? So here's all. Go through and cycle through all the heads so you can see them one more time. Neutral head, screaming head, Hugh Jackman body. You have, the kind of smirking head with the cowboy hat, and then the feral, angry head. And then last, certainly not least, the astonishing body here. One masked head and one kind of clenching, grimacing kind of head over here. So, I would say these two work. These two not. This figure not so much. Brian is saying, out of all the possible configurations, the cowboy head on the Jackman body looked the best. Yeah, no, I think that this did work. I think it's because, getting like the hat you know, goes, like the cowboy hat still goes with like this belt buckle, has a kind of like an indigenous kind of like belt buckle, you know, kind of thing going on, and you know, it still kind of fits that cowboy kind of look. You know, it's not too different, right? It's an upgrade, you know what I mean, or update, you know, in terms of the two. But because of the hair, the hat, like it does still allow this to work, you know, in some way. But otherwise, like this body in general is probably the hardest one to work with, where, you know, it's limited to really these 3 heads over here, whereas these ones can at least swap, you know, these 2 bodies can swap all 4 heads and, you know, kind of make it work more than at least the others. So that's the part swapping fun today. May as well go through not just the head swaps, but let's go through some of the accessories and stuff like that these dudes come with. So let's get the dog tags back on Logan, and we'll just get his regular head on, and then we're going to take off these claw hands, and we're going to put on these closed fist hands. And then you just have chill, not so chill because his arms are in closed fist, but you have still a more chill pose than the claws. You know, you can get him into a little bit of a fight stance. Ready to throw hands. Great. Let's go ahead and switch up Cowboy Wolverine. And we'll get these sword holding hands. Head on. I wonder if he can dual grip sword, so like Bushido style. I don't know if he has the range of motion to be able to do it. Maybe not, eh? Yeah, it's really tough to get it. I guess like the only way for him to hold it is both hands center. But he can't do like, you know, trying to get like a more angular, here we go, maybe low and high. Yeah, not quite. Not, again, older figure, older articulation. I'm trying to get him into a more low stance and more like the blade kind of over the head, if you know what I mean. More of like a, you know, by the halo, I guess, above the head. But the articulation on this body doesn't seem to lend itself as well to that exact pose that I'm trying to get over here. And it's already slipping out of this hand over here. So again, older figure, can't really blame them for that, but we'll go ahead and put this dude away. Let's get into the Astonishing X-Men figure, which has the most accessories here. So go ahead and take these claw hands off. Foremost, we'll go ahead and just get these closed what are your favorites of these three, and which ones do you, if you own them, have you considered part swapping? Have you already done part swapping and stuff with your collection with these action figures specifically? You know, you get this finger pointing hand up. Go ahead and point. And I'm going to get the claw hand back. And get him kind of flexing. Like you. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you. That guy right there. Him. And then you have the open hand. Maybe you can hold his fist. See if we can do this with the butterfly joint. Kind of want to have him like clasping his fist here, but maybe I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm just not bending the arm enough. Let's try that. A little bit more bicep swivel. Maybe let's bend this up. Get this arm bent. Something like that. So not bad. This is a pretty cool figure though. It's Astonishing X-Men. I like the colorway and how it really pops. I haven't really followed that comic line, but even the fact that, you know, he comes with 6 different hands is pretty awesome. Get him clawed up again. And there you have it. 3 different Wolverine figures. We went through 6 different heads. And again, some of them work and some of them don't. But I think that's just the way, you know, it is. It really depends on, you know, the collection that you have. And the cool thing about it is that figures like this one, you know, you can probably find other, you know, street body heads, unmasked heads and stuff like that. And then now you just have, you know, a street body, you know, tank top, you know, action figure. You know, you can put that on, a head on. And then maybe for the shorter bodies, obviously this is very much Wolverine, but, you know, you can, this is technically still a pretty neutral street body, which you can put, you know, another head on. Maybe if it isn't someone, if you don't want to show the face, you might be able to fake it by popping on the head and just not, you know, from behind. Like, that doesn't look too bad. Like, it looks kind of whack, to be honest, like, you know what I mean, like from the front angle over here. But from the back, if you're using this for like toy photography, you just need some extra bodies just kind of hanging around, then this might be, you know, something that works, you know, for you. What else did we show over here? The Astonishing body definitely, I think, works with the cowboy parts between the two. So, you know, I'll probably end up keeping these 2 together, with their parts all together, so I can do some pretty quick swaps and just get more out of these 2 action figures when I want them. But not a lot. Obviously, you can't really put non-Wolverine characters on this head, but you might be able to, you know, fake it again with, you know, this unmasked head that we looked at earlier, which does, you know, pretty much fit this body over here. So again, the whole purpose of the stream is that, you know, there's a lot of collectors, of course, in the collection community, and some people that just, you know, either collect in box or maybe just kind of, you know, keep their collections, you know, pretty tame, pretty simple. But the whole point of this stream was just to kind of talk about how, you know, by simple part swapping, taking stuff from one action figure and adding them to the other. You can definitely bring them to life a little bit more, bring their personality out a little bit more. That was the whole reason why I purchased this Cowboy Wolverine, was specifically for this head, like the way that head looks. I just wanted, a more feral Wolverine head to be able to swap on different Wolverine bodies as the unmasked head. So I'm thinking, again, this is probably one of my favorite Wolverine unmasked heads, but there's really no rhyme or reason or anyone to tell you that you can't swap any of the parts. They're your action figures. You can do whatever the heck you want with them. There's also companies that make custom head sculpts. If you didn't see my Spider-Man 2099 SHF video, I did review this head over here, which is a Miguel O'Hara custom head from Bess Lee. So Bess Lee Studios created this head over here, and look at, take a look at this guy. Like, the detail is just incredible. He has the fangs, he has, all this line work around here. So this I bought because the Miguel O'Hara head in the Spider-Man 2099 pack is pretty lame. He looks really emo, and you can't really have put that unmasked head on Spider-Man 29 doing action poses and stuff like that. So if you missed that, you definitely got to go back into one of my older streams, or you could just look at my short. The short that I did does a side-by-side comparison, and it literally, is talking about, this is the difference a head sculpt can make. So that was the whole purpose of, me picking up this custom head, and the whole reason why I picked up this action figure, because it was on sale at GameStop as well, just to get more legs out of this one. So, don't be shy when it comes down to picking up different action figures and mixing stuff around. One of my favorite things is looking for street bodies on sale. What I mean by street bodies is not the team suit, literally street body. How would they look just chilling on the street? Because you could use these people as goons, you could have them as background characters in your toy photography, people in the crowd and stuff like that, or you could take a regular suit body or not suit body, I'm gonna say a street body like Stan Lee, for example, gray pants, blue jumper, or whatever. You could just take a Cyclops head, Norman Osborn head, a Peter Parker head, or whatever, and just toss it on there, and then now you have Spider-Man out of costume instead of it just being Peter Parker's head on the Spider-Man suit, and then you can have a little bit more fun with his sort of street look. So there's cool things you could do. I mean, there's mixes you could mix and match with Marvel Legends, and staying within a toy line is usually easier. They have usually the same neck pegs as you've seen with these figures that we went over today. If you don't, and you start to mix and match, then you probably will need some sticky tack. So white tack that we have like this, you can get at Staples. You just mold that around the neck peg, and then it'll hold pretty much fill the gap to hold that head in place. So there's things you could do to fake part swapping and stuff like that. And again, very familiar, very common thing for people that are avid action figure collectors that have pretty big collections. But that's not what this stream is for. This is more for the people that are more casual collectors, parents that are just trying to get more value out of their existing collection, and to show their kids that hey, you don't need to play with the exact toy that you have. You can have fun, customize your action figures. It's not that hard. It doesn't you're usually not damaging the figure as long as you're removing the parts the right way and they're supposed to be swapped. Kit bashing and customizing is a whole different game, which I'm not good at. Not even that good at. I'm not good at. So there are people that again will repaint, they'll remold, will do a whole bunch of different customizations to their action figures, which I think is a whole awesome niche in toy collecting and toy photography in itself. But the point of the stream was, again, very high level. I have 3 Wolverine action figures. I'm just going to have some fun, mix these parts around, and maybe you can learn a little bit about these action figures, and maybe do some stuff yourself. But my learning today was, again, these two action figures work really well together. This one not so much, but probably will use this as a general street body in my collection. Whatever, I could put like a Chris Evans head on there. I could put a Thor head on there, and just kind of there you go. There's Thor and Captain America in their regular day-to-day, just going to the bar or whatever else it is, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna try and keep up with more of these just fun, chill kind of streams, unboxing like these kind of figures, or revisiting some of the older figures, because again, this guy's from 2019. And the whole point is, again, just to talk about some of the stuff that maybe the general population, parents and other people that aren't necessarily collectors, this is what collectors like myself and a lot of the other people do in the community. People take it to a much further level than I do. But again, I'm here for the layman's, the people that are just kind of getting into it, learning, to collect and kind of have fun with it. So I'm going to start pumping out as many reels as I can. I'm going to aim for 1 to 3 per week. So the whole reason why I'm doing these streams is to, capture the content of having all of the stuff that you can see in my collection to pick from, and then, I'll whittle those down to 30-second, 60-second clips that I can get out on my channel. So again, if you're interested in, 1, action figures and collectibles, hit sub and like and comment. I would really appreciate that. If you're into anime figures, I got those too. If you're into gaming figures, I got those too. If you're into Transformers, I got those too. There's a pretty good spread of stuff we have here. Let's see. Again, we went over the Spider-Man 2099 last week. We got to get into some Samus. We got the Figma Samus over here. She wouldn't be complete without Emmy. Look at this huge Emmy from Metroid Dread. Look at the difference in the box sizes compared to these, which is pretty crazy. Like, look how even Hugh Jackman, he was the tallest figure that we looked at, and look how tiny he is compared to this Emmy action figure. So really excited to bust this one out and get into it, because I'm a Samus main on Smash Brothers, and I love Metroid games, so that's what this is from. We also got, let's see here, Rise of the Beasts, some Transformers that we got to unbox. So there's lots of fun stuff that I have been just kind of sitting on that we got to open up on stream, and I've been picking up a lot of these from Titan Toys. So if you noticed, again, on the bottom rotator, you may see the logo for Titan Toys. Titan Toys is one of the toy companies that I work with, and they're based out here in the GTA in Etobicoke. There you go, Titan Toys, located right on the bottom there. Go to titantoys.com. If you use promo code TOYBACON, that's TOYBACON all as one word, you can get 5% off your next purchase. So all the collectibles that you saw here, if you're into Figma, Mafex, Marvel Legends, what else do we have? Like Motu, Transformers, anime figures, also figurines. If you're into figurines, more fixed style figurines, if you're into G.I. Joes, if you are into Pokemon cards and all that other types of stuff, Titan Toys is the place for you. So make sure, again, to visit Titan Toys and use promo code TOYBACON to get 5% off. Tell them Francisco Kix sent you, and yeah, definitely support their business, because they're doing some good stuff. I usually post up with Drew and Danny and Shay and some of the other people that are the other regulars at the local toy cons here in the GTA. But again, Titan Toys is my shop of choice. So everything that you're seeing on my stream, I purchased through them, or they've gifted to me. So again, shout out to the Titan Toys crew, and excited to pick up some more collectibles in the near future. I think I have the Figma Link from Tears of the Kingdom that was on pre-order last year. I got that on the way. I have my Transformers TMNT that's already out, but I haven't gone to pick that one up yet. my Superior Spider-Man, the red and black suit with the tentacles, that one as well. But again, we'll get into a whole bunch of the other collectibles that we have over here on a future stream. So typically aiming on Mondays, Monday evenings, Monday nights, sometime between 8 and 10 to get the streams going. This one was a little bit later because I had to go to my niece's birthday party. Happy birthday, Jordan. Your uncle loves you. Started a little bit later today. But again, if you enjoy this content, if you're a collector, I would highly appreciate support for the stream. Trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, so greatly appreciate that. All my socials are located below on YouTube, Twitch, Insta, TikTok. Everything is the same, Kuya Kix, and you can find me there. But otherwise, hit me up with the DM if you have any suggestions of other content that you'd like to see. But appreciate you coming through, Bri. Who else did we have on the line? Rob, Finn. We had Mutant FL Man on chat today. So appreciate all of you tuning in and participating in the chat, and really looking forward to the next one. But until next time, see you later.